Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's beautiful outside today. The sun is shining. It's a little bit crisp, but not too bad. From what I understand, this weekend's going to get brutal, though, on Sunday and then carrying over for a few days. So make sure you got your firewood stocked up and whatever you need to do. So our devotional this morning starts with the scripture from the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 2. Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing so, some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it. The title of today's devotional, is Welcome, Stranger. And it reads, not everyone can serve in a foreign land, lead a relief effort, or volunteer at the downtown soup kitchen. But who can't be hospitable? Do you have a front door, a table, chairs, bread and meat for sandwiches? Congratulations! You just qualified to serve in the most ancient of ministries, hospitality. You can join the ranks of people such as Abraham. He fed not just angels, but the Lord of angels, Genesis 18. He fed Rahab the harlot. Such people as Rahab the harlot. She received and protected the spies, Joshua 6:22-23. Martha and Mary. They opened their home for Jesus, John 11:1-45. Zacchaeus. He welcomed Jesus to his table, Luke 19:1-10. And what about the greatest example of all? That certain man of Matthew 26:18. On the day before his death, Jesus told his followers, go into the city to a certain man and tell him, the teacher says, the chosen time is near. I will have the Passover with my followers at your house. How would you have liked to have been the one to open his home for Jesus? Well, you can be. Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Matthew 25:40. As you welcome strangers to your table, you are welcoming God himself. Now, I don't think it's an accident that this devotional came up 2 days before Thanksgiving. I want you to think for a minute. Are you having Thanksgiving at your house? Are you hosting Thanksgiving at your house for family and friends? Okay, I know I am. So I want you to think for a minute. Do you have a neighbor or an elderly person to shut in that can't get out? Do you have somebody that you know, somebody that's just a mild acquaintance that may possibly be spending Thanksgiving Day alone, that may be eating a TV dinner on the TV tray in front of the TV? You know, I've read a couple of short stories recently about people who were forgotten at Thanksgiving. I read one story about a man whose son lived in, I think, Chicago, and he called his dad a couple of days before Thanksgiving. He said, Dad, we just can't make it. You know, flights are outrageous, and my wife has not been feeling well, and, you know, there's just so much going on. We just can't make it this year. But I know that Susie, my sister, will be there with you for Thanksgiving, or you're going to her house. So, you know, just you all have a great time. And we'll be praying for you. Well, just a little bit later, Susie called and said, Dad, I know that it's 2 days till Thanksgiving, but, you know, I work at the hospital and I've been scheduled for a double shift on Thanksgiving Day, and there's no way I can get away. But I know that you'll be with my brother that day, and so you all just have a great time, and I'll be praying for you all. So the man ended up being home alone for Thanksgiving. He tried to cook himself a little Thanksgiving dinner, and he burned it terribly. Sat there and ate it anyway by himself, with a picture of his wife, who had passed away the year before, at the table with him. And one of the kids happened to call while he was sitting there, and called him with a FaceTime call so the kids could all say Happy Thanksgiving to their grandpa, and realized that his dad was sitting at the kitchen table in his house alone, and there was nobody else around. Well, I guess he hung up the phone and called his sister and They both drove however far it was to drive, or flew however far it was to fly, to get to his house by the end of the night. Now, it was bedtime. They showed up with the kids in their pajamas and yawning, but it didn't matter. They showed up. Who do you have that may be spending Thanksgiving Day alone? That everybody else will think, well, I'm sure so-and-so has invited them to dinner. And yet they may be sitting home alone on Thanksgiving with just the TV to keep them company. That's our cue to reach out. Maybe they do have plans, but you won't know unless you invite them to yours. Maybe they do have family coming in, but you'll never know if you don't ask. I even think about people who live in nursing homes during the holidays, and how I know that the nursing home serves them a Thanksgiving meal, and they're not alone, but they're not surrounded by family, by people who care about them individually. Welcome the stranger. If you know of someone who may be spending Thanksgiving Day alone, welcome them. We just had our Thanksgiving dinner at church Sunday evening, and we had people there that I didn't know. They were friends or family of somebody else that comes to our church, but I didn't know them. And so I made sure to go up and introduce myself and welcome them and tell them they are welcome to come back anytime. So now there's your second challenge. If you see somebody coming into church for whatever reason, you need to welcome them. You need to tell them that you're glad that they're there that day, whatever they have come for. Whether they have come to watch a grandchild's baptism and you may never see them again, whether they've come asking if anybody can spare some gas money to get on to their next stop, whatever the reason they're stopping in, we need to welcome them. Remember, do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing so, some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it. You never know the situation of another person. You don't know the situation of a neighbor or a person who walks in off the street to your church or to your place of business or whatever it may be. Our responsibility is to show hospitality to every single one of them, and to remember those who may otherwise be forgotten during this holiday season. We have so much to celebrate. We have so much to be thankful for. I don't know about you and how many will be gathered around your Thanksgiving table, but I think we will have 13, either 11 or 13, depending on two people that I'm unsure about yet. I know that we will have at least 11 people here on Thanksgiving Day to eat. I know that my table will expand to hold one or two more. I know yours will too. Let's all be aware. Let's all be thankful. And let's all share what we have to be thankful for. Not just the food, the family, the conversation, and the love of Jesus. I think we can all share that, can't we? I pray you all have a wonderfully blessed day. This coming Sunday is actually the first Sunday of Advent. I'm going to the church at noon and meeting some other people there, and you are welcome to join us. We're going to be removing all the fall decorations and putting up everything for Advent and having it ready for Sunday. We'll be there at noon if you want to pop in and help for a while. Remember today, welcome the stranger. Start thinking now about friends, acquaintances, neighbors that might be spending Thanksgiving Day alone, and make sure they have an invitation to your table. I love you all dearly. If there's anything I can do for you, please reach out and let me know. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.